Oh hey, I didn't see you come in there. Welcome back to another video. And yeah, it's originally a video I wanted to make on Friday, but I had some nice food in a great restaurant and yeah, good time as well. So yeah, things didn't go the way as planned. But yeah, there's something ironically it is something that not many people are currently talking about, which is surprising to me because this is a little serious. It all has to do with yeah, the war. No, it's not really a war, but it's yeah, kind of yeah, payment processors acting like they're people's parents with how they should spend their money and stuff, especially Mastercard and Visa, etc. And yeah, they just say, hey, AJ, why do you care about this? Why don't you care about this kind of yeah, about Japanese entertainment? So in this way, when you don't even read or don't even watch a lot of anime without having a good opinion about it. Well, I do care about it. I read a lot of seinen manga, and I watch Spy X Family, and yeah, read mangas like Finland Saga, and I also watched the entire yeah series of Kimagure Orange Dod. I probably misspelled that word, but Allah, it's part of my immersion because I've been studying the language for a few years now. But yeah, there's a certain yeah thing going on that could not just affect Japanese entertainment, but entertainment as a whole in East Asia or Southeast Asia. Doesn't matter if it goes unchecked. In this case, yeah, it's also a question about morals, and let's just say payment processors have zero morals, but we get to that later. Then we discuss what's in the articles, and yeah, first we go to this video of GB reviews. Who kind of was actually one of the few people who were talking about it, and yeah, it needs to be discussed more. There needs to be a discussion going on about how the payment processors are kind of yeah. Yeah, acting on double standards with a level of hypocrisy that I haven't seen in quite some time. And yeah, which I find ridiculous because there's age ratings there, and people know what's 18 plus and what's not when they're adults. We don't need payment processors to act like our parents, apparently. But this guy, Chibi Reviews, he discussed it in more detail. After that, we're heading to the Chrome browser, where because Brave apparently can't open the article in the description, but he goes over this as well. And yeah, he talks about it, and I have my two thoughts about it. So, but it needs to be spread more because it's getting out of hand, and if it keeps going, it won't just stop there at Japan, but will also affect other East Asian countries, with the exception of maybe China. But yeah, it needs to be discussed. So without further ado, if you want to watch a video without my commentary, you can click. I'll post the link down below, and I'll give credit where credit is due. I put chibi reviews in it as well because it's getting kind of out of control. Funny. Manga Toshikan. Toshikan. It's a manga library. Funny. So now I can read those kanjis. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video.
I knew the situation was bad, and I knew that Visa and MasterCard have been censoring for quite a bit now for the past few years, but to see a list compiled of all the sites, companies, and businesses that are affected by Visa and MasterCard, the duo monopoly, it's actually staggering. Like, this is a legitimately staggering list, and I know not everything that is listed here is strictly Japanese. There's like a few that stand out, but overall, pretty much every single thing, over 90% of the stuff on this list, is basically just Japanese sites or businesses or companies operating in Japan. And it's insane. It's actually insane how this has been ongoing pretty much since the early 2020s, and there has been next to no pushback. Maybe silent pushback, maybe there was pushback at one point, but it got basically doused in flames and silenced. It's very likely. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that there has been so many major sites that has been affected, like even Nico Nico to, obviously Melon Books, DL site. I mean, you see,
The latter is brutally true, because the L site also bought some, let's say, spicy content from there for research purposes. But my credit card company no longer gives access to it. I can pay with it for it when so you have to listen to certain human rights groups and activist groups or investors, where they have to think about what kids might see and what's not. But majority of the L site is 18 plus, so I don't see why they're trying to affect the free flow of money into the East Asian countries and out. Why are so bent on I know why they're so bent on it. It's because they want to influence the culture of Japan and maybe other countries like them, and in a certain way destabilize them. And it won't just stop there. But different story, I digress. We get to that later.
Manga King affected, manga library, it's pretty bad. Like, the situation obviously has escalated quite a bit, and like I said, it is shocking, just the lack of conversation around this. However, it does seem that a lot more people are trying to talk about it. It does seem like people are trying to spread awareness of this, and it's very clear that the Japanese, industry, or people in Japan, are actually becoming aware of this. They are becoming aware of this dual monopoly from Visa and MasterCard. And I talked about this yesterday when it came to the canary and the coal mine. When you allow something to be censored or happen, it eventually will lead to more things happening. It'll get a lot worse. For instance, if people allow content that you deem unsatisfactory or you don't like to be censored, one day content that you actually do like is going to be censored. Because where is...
That's actually true. If they censor a certain type of content right now, it could be, let's say, Taimanina Sari, or thing like Spy X Family, or even spicier stuff. It won't stop there. It will come at a point, and people who are pro censorship against certain types, like, let's say, Lodi or Shota, or even though they have their own problems. But if you're into, let's say, seinen, that's more mature, etc., if elements of that get censored, it won't stop there. It will go all the way from the mangaka to the publishers to, let's say, the studios who create the animated movies like a Ghibli, or the people who create Wicked City. I don't know in which hands they are right now. But no, it could escalate and become even worse, and it could affect not just the quality of the content. It may come to a point that they don't allow certain fan service to be shown. A little bit of skin could already be a problem. Things like that. But I'm letting TV talk because he's spreading some very useful information.
Is the line? Where does it stop? For instance, if adult content for anime, manga, and games is censored, where's the line to where they might trickle it down into regular mainstream shows?
That's true. Where does the line stop? Because if there's not a clear... And we know how credit card companies work. We know how certain human rights groups, etc. work. It won't stop there. It will never be enough. That's the problem. And I might be a little bit going into conspiracy theory territory here, but the moment you start giving them, more of that censorship, they'll demand for more, to the point that nothing gets created right there. We can only show safe content, safe work content. But because we have to think of a certain group of people, or think of the kids, when kids usually don't buy this kind of especially ecchi or the adult content from the elf side, for example. Yes, I'm surprised nobody else is talking about it except maybe this guy and a few others. But let's keep going.
For instance, people that love their shonen series, like what's stopping them from banning something like Naruto, Dragon?
What's going to stop them? Yeah, maybe there's some elements in it that they might not like, but they're entirely normal in Japanese culture. That's one thing.
Ball, Bleach, One Piece, because let's be fair here, there is fan service content within that, and if they want to...
And that's absolutely true. There is fan service content in it, and knowing how the payment processors work, how they think, some of the people they listen to think, it is no surprise that they want to that they would love nothing more than to censor those properties as well. But yeah, this is more than overreach. This is actively trying to sabotage a market and affect the culture of the country. And won't stop. And like I said, it won't stop here in Japan. It will spread to other countries as well. I say, if a country like Taiwan, or in some cases Malaysia, I probably butchered the name, made something that seems to be entirely normal over there, but not in the, let's say, in Western countries, or for people that work at those payment processors who completely lost the purpose of what they originally are supposed to do. Just let the payments get through and back. They will stop it, right? They will go to do everything in their power to stop that. But let's keep on going.
To argue that this content needs to be censored, it will eventually trickle down into anime and manga as well, because there is definitely some fan service-like content. But I'm getting a little bit off topic. What I'm trying to say is that yesterday this news came out that another site was affected, and I was doing a little bit of digging, and as you saw at the beginning of this video, I looked at basically an entire list of stuff that has just been outright censored or forced to terminate payment processing companies because, you know, they have to remove content, you know, and it's absolutely sickening. What I showed you at the beginning of this video was actually from this Japanese article here that compiled the list. I'll have it linked in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. You might have to put it through translation apps or whatever to be able to read it, like what I did. But what I'm trying to say is that, I am absolutely in shock just the lack of response that I've seen people have towards this. I mean, I found out about this literally last year, and it's crazy that I'm still one of the only few people that is actually actively talking about this in the content creation space. This is bad, and let's get into what they are censoring, okay? So let's just keep it 100% real with everyone. I'm going to be completely transparent on what they're going after. So these companies, okay, or Visa and Mastercard, are censoring these sites because they have adult content on them. Basically, these credit card companies believe that they should be able to stop you from using your money how you like. For instance, the company that is just meant to be a vessel for your money is trying to stop actual legal adults from buying legal adult content.
Bingo. I knew this all along. Because we have to think about the kids, we can't create anything that's takes a little risk, but you just have to keep it safe because the payment processors don't like it. They want to treat you like kids when pretty much everyone who buys that content is either adult or say teenager, and the parents apparently aren't they don't think that there should be a responsibility of adults and parents, pretty much. But yeah, I'm getting off topic here. Let's keep on going.
I that's kind of messed up when you put it in that perspective, but also, let's look at it a little bit deeper. The reason why Visa and MasterCard are very heavy on Japan as of late, even though they obviously are hypocrites, because I showed that article yesterday about how they let the stuff on OnlyFans happen, and they completely just, let it happen for years up to literally 2024 and 2025. It really showcases that they don't actually have any moral ground to stand on. And what is that moral ground? Well, what they try to argue is brand protection. They try to argue that, for instance, content that is fictional, that could be deemed maybe sus or messed up or problematic, needs to basically be completely just destroyed, stopped, and they will not allow payments for that content whatsoever. And if this is something they retroactively did for all forms of content, for instance, if Visa and Mastercard did this for everything, fictional content, non-fictional content, everything, when it came to, let's say, OnlyFans as well, I would be like, okay, at least they are keeping their moral standing intact. But it's very clear that they care more about fictional content than actual real people being harmed. And I've already showed the article before, it's very apparent what their priorities are. So what it really does come down to is that this is just straight up an antitrust lawsuit waiting to happen, and it doesn't just feel racist, it is racist. Like, this is straight up an attack on Japan, trying to stop the Japanese public from being able to do what is legal within their country, and crippling businesses in the process. Here's the problem with this entire situation. A lot of these businesses in Japan heavily do rely on Visa and MasterCard. I remember one site a while back, I remember reading an article, it was like, I remember finding an article for 2022, and apparently one of the sites in question that was on the list I showed, they had like 50% of their payments relied on Visa and MasterCard. And when they effectively pulled out that payment, it pretty much crippled the site. Like, imagine overnight you lose 50% of your revenue because of these card companies. Well, you know what that means? Well, you're either going to close shop, you're going to censor yourself, or you're going to have to fire a lot of people to downsize if you allow it to happen. So it's a lot. It's a bad situation overall, and a lot of these businesses are basically getting the rug pulled out from underneath them because they do rely on these payment processes. They rely on people even overseas to buy products, and people that come in, tourists, whatever. But obviously, if this continues to happen, it is destroying these businesses. And people saying that you could just pirate, that's not the answer here. This is a completely different subject matter. This is stuff at the source in Japan. And as this trickle-down effect continues to happen, and these businesses keep getting hurt, it's going to eventually affect the actual authors, the writers, the animators. It's going to affect people in Japan that creates the said content, because if they can't sell the content anymore because of Visa and MasterCard, then the content is going to effectively have to change to be able to even be accepted by Visa and MasterCard,
which is an attack on freedom of expression, and literally what's legal within their free market. It is straight. It's a sabotage attempt. It's an attempt to affect the culture, to destroy and destabilize the Japanese culture, and it won't stop there. It will go to other countries because there are some the payment processors like Visa and Mastercard, they have a certain standard that they don't have to think about kids when there's no such thing as global standards. It's all about that. More global standards. Nothing else. But let's keep on going and let him finish the video because it's interesting.
Which is a systematic domino effect. That is the worry here. That is the damage, the actual danger in the review mirror, or not even in the review mirror, the danger that is straight ahead, that everybody is completely going towards and not realizing it at this point. It is a bad situation, and it is stunning how many people are not talking about this. I
absolutely agree, because people could just say more piracy, but this is beyond it. This is at the source. If you affect the source in such a way, they won't. At a certain point, it won't feel like Japanese like native Japanese content anymore, but like something copied from the call arts. That will be the only thing that is allowed, because the payment process has too much power in that case to stop the Japanese from creating the content that they want. It's an attack on freedom of expression as well within those countries. They're trying to act like an arbiter of what should be sold and what's not. And that's not what the payment processors are made for. And they have no feet to stand on, but we get to that later. He's right. Chibi absolutely nailed it. Here's the last second.
Really, really hope as this continues to happen. I don't want it to continue to happen, but it's going to. I hope eventually some big content creator, way more massive than me, picks this up and really does a deep dive and dives into all this and talks about it, because this needs to see the limelight. It's really just upsetting how there is so many people willfully happy and jumping in glee that this content in Japan is being censored, when it's definitely going to trickle down to so much more. It's affecting games now. It's affecting manga. It's affecting anime. It's going to get worse. It will continue to get worse. If something is not done, if a line is not drawn, it's going to get worse. And the fact that these companies can actually get away with this and just do it is insane. So much corruption on display. And yeah, I don't know. I was just, like I said, I'm making this video to do more of a deep dive to spread once again more awareness to the situation, because it is bad. And I think people need to be aware of this. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.
So, well, I couldn't have said any better. So shout to Chibi for telling how it is, because we get into the articles now. Here's one of them. Payment processors for Japanese retailers to remove adult games indefinitely. So yeah. With Surugaya, that's a game publisher for adult games and Dojin. Dojin, there you go. According to GameSpark and Automaton, the retailer's online partner Taos EC is hoping to bring the listings back as soon as possible. However, they also said that the listings will remain down indefinitely, and that the situation has arisen that requires discussion with providers regarding payment methods for all products. We have always handled the products in question in the same manner as other products. At this time, we are prioritizing informing our customers, so we are unable to provide clear indication when the site will reopen. As such, the site will be closed for the time being, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And they're actively trying to tell holders, platform holders and retailers to censor artists, to attack their freedom of expression, which is insane. Just because you don't like certain content, then doesn't mean that it shouldn't exist. Let's put it right there. And even Steam got involved because the payment processor refused to handle payouts, which you can see right here. And politicians like Yamada and Akamatsu, they have pushed back against it. But it is not enough. There needs to be a wider reach for this. Because here's the article from January 30, 2025. Where a member of the Japanese National Diet has announced his intent to investigate the payment processors who are refusing to provide service to Japanese artists because they withholding revenue, aka their income, actively withholding their income from selling adult games on Steam, which is absolutely ridiculous. He wants to draw it, and here's the meme that captures it perfectly. Myth artistic freedom. I want to draw it. I want to see it. I don't. Isn't there some random payment processors you forgot to ask? It is. I wish I could laugh about it, but I can't. According to Yamada. Oh. It is Yamada. Okay, well, I pronounced his name backwards. Allah. So here's one. The Japanese banks ban adult games. Are banks censoring freedom of expression? We have received multiple comments and questions like this, especially we are aware of the following issues. When Japanese people or Japanese companies make profits on Steam, a world-famous game distribution platform operated by the American company Valve Corporation, if the same gaming question, so this is the whole tweet here, is for adult audience, their remittances from abroad are rejected by Japanese banks, meaning they're unable to receive the profits. So first of all, if you deal with adult games, you can't open an account at the Japanese bank. We have checked with the Financial Service Agency, which has jurisdiction over banking, and the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, which has jurisdiction over games, and have begun considering how to respond to this matter. They didn't affect just Japanese content creators, but also Western ones. And not just those sites, also Pixiv, DeviantArt, and more. And this, that's not a word. But here's the list of of sites that have been affected. Like this one, this site that I don't know. That's a site where otakus, so fans of Japanese content, could meet and stuff, culture. Seabook. That means for idol DVDs, OnlyFans, or Gumroad has also been affected. For digital cosplay ROMs, and Scap, DMM.com, DL site. This entire Duga, for example, Nico has also been affected. Patreon, Fansa, Fantia, Bookwalker, Pixiv, and the list goes on. A whole list of sites. Melon Books also affected to these payment processors. And like Chibi also said, if they were just affected all kinds of not safe for work content, people who are actually getting hurt, then I would say yes, okay, just stay close to your principles. I agree 100% with that. But now, this the worst part. They failed not so long ago to stop payments on OnlyFans for child abuse, according to a whistleblower. So they have no feet to stand on. There's an antitrust, and this waiting to be some kind of antitrust thing, like that Chibi told him to happen. We failed to stop the payment networks for laundering proceeds from child abuse material and trafficking on the popular website OnlyFans. Which brings me to the following thing before I close. You can read the articles in the description down below. I'll post them right there. So they let the funds for that through, and that's the following thing. If, for example, OnlyFans does this, the payments go through. If a game like Baldur's Gate wants you to have wants to have a scene where you can literally pick to have intercourse with a giant bear, it is allowed and they get their funds. When someone creates you can buy Japanese adult video from an online retailer, and the funds get through. When it's pixelated content, or in this case in a certain manga art style, the funding doesn't get through. And I'm like, am I the only one thinking that this is beyond overreach and beyond hypocrisy? I'm probably not the only one who sees that there's something not adding up. But I think I'll leave it right there. And what say you? Do you think the credit card companies are in the right? Do you think they're in the wrong? Personally, I think they're in the wrong. Like I already said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think they're trying actively and using all kinds of power to attack not only Japanese businesses and prevent them from making revenue on the platforms that they want to. They also kind of lost track of what they're supposed to. That's getting the money in and out. And it won't stop there. It's going to it's affecting games, anime, and even the Japanese animated movies from the source. So piracy won't help here. It's not going to make a difference. The only thing that's going to make a difference is to keep talking about this and keep addressing the canary in the gold mine, like Chibi says, because you may think that certain types of censorship are okay, but what eventually it will get to the point that even content that you like for example, in Naruto, Dragon Ball, Bleach, or even Finland Saga will be censored. That's, yeah. You're walking on hot charcoal in that case. But I've got to go. Anyways, so for me rambling and interrupting the GB reviews for so long, but you can watch the video file commentary in my video description. But more people need to talk about this because this is getting insane. I hope that probe comes there so that it could crack the whip on Visa and Mastercard, because they don't have a leg to stand on, in my opinion. But anyways, talk to you guys later. Peace.